Hey everyone, Danny4 here, talking about the VALKYRIA bundle that is coming to stores. I think I'm pronouncing that right, sorry if I'm not. But basically we have the Hafen, Edwardless, Nameless, Lupus, Vulcan. All pretty good tanks, and the newest tank is very interesting, but we'll get to that one last. First up, we'll have the Hafen. This one, I think, is one of my favorites out of the entire bundle. It's got a lot of front armor. It's got a good gun. It's hideous. So, everything about it I like. It's got 190 average alpha with a 4.6 second reload. And sorry if I sound a little weird. I am getting over a cold, and that's why this video didn't come out Tuesday. I was sick. I'm just not getting over it. All these tanks were bought to me by a friend. A very good friend bought them for me. So, thanks a lot. And then there's my team. They're all just sitting back there. And if the enemy comes up here and pushes me, then I could be in some issues. And this, I don't know how he pins so easily, but because the armor profile on this tank is very good. It's very weird, very trollish. But I think I may have been over-angling a little bit. It's got a pretty good top speed, 52. Good DPM. 2,700 DPM with a rammer. And the accuracy is pretty good. And the pin is okay. Not many tanks at tier 7 and stuff you can't pin. There's not a lot of armored tier 7 tanks, so unless you have like a smasher or something. And then there's the KB2. Can't really pin its turret when it's a stock turret, because the stock turret has more armor than the upgraded turret, which really doesn't make any sense, but it's wargaming for you. That's the armor profile angled. It can bounce a lot of things. And that KB2 is stock, so I'm really not worried about him. And even the rear can get bounces, as you saw there. It's very weird. All these tanks have some really funky armor profiles. And at first I really didn't think this tank was overpowered, and then I fought a clanmate of mine in a training room versus his Dracula and stuff, because the Dracula, it's overpowered. And it just stomped the Dracula into the ground. It did. And after some playing around with other tanks, I realized that this tank is a little overpowered. But I don't know if I would call it overpowered. Probably. It's really good though. This game is not amazing, but you know, 3K at tier 7 is pretty decent. That's 3 times your hit point pool. And how I see it, if you do your hit point worth, then you did your part. But that's never enough in a game. So if you do twice your hit point pool, then you've done pretty good, and that's a good game. Not a huge carry, but it's a good game. Get a first class, 5 kills, 1100 base experience, and 2,900 damage. And next we have the Nameless. This tank I like a lot. I think the Hafen is a little bit better than the Nameless. They're both mediums. Oh wait, no, this is the heavy. No, this is the heavy. I'm talking about the Edwardless. The Nameless is very good. 310 average alpha gun, 8.4 second reload. Kind of slow, but it's got a really good armor profile on the front. It can bounce a lot of shots. And the lower plate is weak, but it's so tiny that if you side scraper this tank or just angle it frontwards, you're probably going to bounce quite a bit. And 310 Alpha at tier 7 is really good. Not a lot of tanks have that. Well, I guess heavy tanks do. I keep forgetting this is a heavy. It feels like a medium.
Enemy armor is damaged.
I'm not even bothered side scraping. I just angle out sideways and I get a bounce from that KV-1S.
Nice shot.
Then I'm really not worried because there's not a lot of tanks that can pin me that are down there. Trying to get some shots on that KB, but it's just he's at that angle where I can't quite get his plate. So I'm just gonna switch to HE and try that, and yeah, I missed that shot. And I'm not gonna get any shots, so I just switched to HE, shoot, and that one hit him, I believe. And then I see their T-23 and then T-35 over here. And their T-23 is killing our KV, so I'm gonna come help them out. And derp that shot into the ground. It's not the most accurate gun, because it's a very short gun. But up close range like this. And it has decent pin. Pretty good. That's what I'm talking about armor profile. On T-23. Now that I'm straight on, he can shoot me, but if I'm angled, yeah, no, and way I'm screwed then good. And this T-35 doesn't stand a chance. Switch to HE to finish the job, and then it's done. It's a very solid tank. I like this one a lot too. This and the Hafen are my favorites. Then the Lotus, Edwardless, and then the Vulcan. I think the Vulcan's one of my least favorites. It's good. It just these things I think are a little better. Because the armor profile on the Vulcan is so weird. I have not learned it yet. Once I learn it, I'm sure I'll do a lot better in it. But since it's almost all spaced armor, it's so confusing. It's crazy. You don't know what is going to pin. You don't know what's going to bounce. You don't know how to angle it, really. It's a definitely unique tank. That KV-2, I guess, went AFK or just gave up. When our KV-2, I don't even know how he missed that shot, but Russian accuracy at its finest. And then we get the kill. Again, not an amazing game at all, but just had to get some games out to show you what it's like. 2,500 damage. Overall, a pretty good tank. I like it a lot. Next up, the Edwardless. I'm probably saying that wrong, because again, I'm not good at pronouncing weird tanks' names. And a lot of people hate fake tanks. Me personally, I don't care. It's World of Tanks, not World of Real Tanks. Yeah, more realisticness would be better, but, you know, it's Blitz. There's nothing realistic about it, so might as well add some cool, hideous-looking tanks. Now, this one is pretty fast. It has 225 average alpha compared to the Hafen's 190, but it does have like a whole second longer reload for that little alphas. Not that much worth it. And 8 degrees of gun depression, so it can get some pretty nice shots off. Or the Hafen, I think it's 6 degrees. I may be wrong on that. I have not checked, but it's definitely not as good as this one. But out of this entire line, if I were to get one, I would get the Hafen, for sure. It's amazing. It really is. And then the Lotus, probably. Unless you already have a big heavy like the Smasher. Because the Lotus, it's a good tank, but it can get pinned in weird places. And, you know, 13 degrees of gun depression is really nice with the gun elevation. If any tank gets above you on a hill, you're not going to shoot them at all. And 7,500 gold for each of these tanks is a little overpriced, I think, because they are tier 7 tanks, and that's as much as a tier 8 tank. So if you could get one of these tanks or the T-34 or is 6, I would get the T-34 because it makes credits a lot more and it's a tier 8. But overall, these tanks are pretty good. And here are these Panthers. The problem with the Panthers, he's just trading shot for shot, and he's gonna lose that because he's a less alpha. And then I got some backup, so this Panther shouldn't have pushed. And unfortunately, this Challenger does die because I bounced a shot, and then I didn't really want to stick out there and take the Lupus hit. So instead, our Challenger, instead of backing up, he dies. So. And there's the Lupus. It's armored, but if people take time to aim at the turret, they will pin. They can. So here I'm just going to ignore those guys and go for the Smasher, because anyone that drives the Smasher needs to get tunneled, including me, because I love the Smasher. The Smasher tops all of these tanks. The Smasher tops all tier 7 tanks. Tops all premiums, in my opinion. Smasher. If you don't have the Smasher and it comes on sale, buy it. And they're just gonna get the ram kill here. Nice little ram kill, and then finish the Lupus off. So a very solid tank. It goes 55 kilometers an hour forward, I believe. Pretty reasonable, and again, like the other games, not a lot of damage, no mastery, but a decent amount. And next we have the Lupus. And you're playing with a Clanmate of mine on Oasis Palms. It's again really ugly, and I like ugly tanks. Now this, not a lot of people know about that, but you see that top thing on top of the gun right there? I don't know what that is supposed to be. But what's on top of the gun there, if you're looking at someone and you aim directly down that, you can pin that. You actually can do damage to that. So if you have a Lupus using its gun depression over to shoot you, if you shoot directly in the center of that, you will pin and you will do damage. It's something I found out. And what's weird is when you're aiming down, it looks like the chamber comes out of the tank, which I think they broke the tank. But, you know. And when I'm aiming up like that, that's as far as I can aim up. It has no gun elevation. Which gun elevation you may not think is that important, but it actually really is, and you definitely learn that playing this tank. I have no idea what shot me there. 342, maybe the Chrysler K? Got a high roll? I don't know, or the SU. I have no idea how he pinned me either. But like I said, the armor's not impinnable. It really isn't. If they take their time and aim, they will pin. I don't know what Kirito is saying there, but, you know. Don't know how that shot went in, but it did. And then their Chrysler K just completely wants to YOLO this AMX. Wasn't very smart on his part. And again, I don't know how that shot went in. Perfect timing. No, that Chrysler K completely messed up there. And I'm just gonna stay back, use these dunes for my gun depression. Try to angle up this VK. No one's looking. That's the gun elevation right there. Just horrible. But no one's aiming at me, so I just got free farming damage. And this is the gun depression. Just amazing. No tank can aim over this hill like that. Well, besides the Saint Email. But that's it. Don't know what this Challenger was doing. It wasn't very smart. But overall, it's a solid tank. It's really good. 400 average alpha gun, 13-second reload, which is pretty good. Dispersion is like any Russian heavy tank, really. It feels like a Russian tank, it does, even though it's technically a fake tank, but it feels like a Russian tank. Don't know how that shot missed, but that's, I guess, what happens. No idea. Some shots should definitely hit, and they completely miss, and some shots should have no right of hitting, and they hit. So, that's RNG for you. Again, decent battle. Nothing too special. I didn't have a lot of time to play all these tanks and get masteries in them. And finally, the Vulcan. This thing, it's good, but like I said, the armor profile is so weird. It's hard to play because all the spaced armor, all that on the front there, all that on the side, all that on the turn is all spaced armor. And spaced armor, if you look at it, shows that you can pin it. It shows gray, like you can pin it, but you really can't because there's armor underneath it. So people will be shooting for those spots that look like they can pin and just bounce off. And sometimes they'll go in, sometimes they'll bounce off. So you really can't. The armor profile is so weird. You really can't use it very well. I'm confused on how to use it, but I'm still learning. I just got the tank. I have like 5 battles in it or something. So over time, I'll figure out the very weird angling of this tank. Because it seems when I try to angle it sideways, if people shoot the tracks, it goes right through. So yeah, and if you head straight on, then they can pin too. And then this gun has a 350 average alpha, which is very nice, and a 10.9 second reload, so basically 11 seconds. I don't know what this AMX was doing, and the HE, nice damage. That AMX, I don't know. The gun depression is horrible because it is such a big tank. The gun is pretty decent though. 350 alpha tier 7 is nice, especially in this tank. It's just so strange, and it's really ugly, which I like about it. And there's the HE. The HE can pin a lot of tanks at tier 7. I don't remember what the pin is on it. I'll check after this game, but a lot of tanks like a KV2 with HE or Smasher this tank in HE. In the sides and rear. That's what I'm talking about. You hit the track and it goes right through. So I'm kind of trying to angle up, because I know if he shoots the side, there's no way he'll pin with that spaced armor. So he's aiming right for the track in the lower glasses plate. And I thought I was going to die here with this KV3 if I didn't get any help. Because then we both bounce off each other. And he aimed for the gun right there. And that gun, you're not going to pin if you shoot that gun. And there's the gun depression. Nothing you can do. Just hit the back up, shoot, and then go forward. And he pinned me there. I'm not sure where he hit me, but he's trying his best to angle. And then I got some help, so put him down to a 1 shot, pretty much. And the KV3 just ignores me and shoots someone else, and then I get the kill on him. And that's a GG. It's a solid tank. It's just very different than what you're normally used to. It's very weird. And finish on 3,600 damage with a second class, 96,000 credits. That was with credit boosters, so it does make okay credits. And HE is 57 to 63. So, and then here's all the stats for the tank, which you can pause and look through. I'll show a Blitz stars statistics on the screen here. of all the tanks. I don't mind fake tanks, like I said, and I don't mind selling tier 7, 8 premium tanks because that's pretty much all the tiers filled up with. My main thing with premium tanks is I hate them that they sell them at tier 10. Tier 9 and 10 used to be a special tier where you couldn't easily buy your way there. But now you have people that just got the game, don't know what they're doing, buying tier 10 premium tanks and playing a tier they don't know how to play. So, sell all these tanks you want. I'm okay with this. Just stop selling tier 10 tanks. And in the bundle, $60 for all these tanks. It's expensive. It really is. But if you want to collect tanks and you have the money and you want them, then it's a better deal because you can get this tank for $30, or you spend $20 more and get 4 more tanks. And these other tank, where are they at? All 7,500 gold each, which is like $25. Which I don't know, unless you already have the gold in your account. The bundle is cheap for the amount of tanks, but it is kind of expensive. But there you go. That's the bundle. All solid tanks. This one I think is my favorite and the most ugly. So that's the end of it. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.